Well, I moved out here. I thought I had this whole idea that I was going to like drive around with DPs and in old classic cars and just like talk about lighting.
Oh, all right.
It's so you're the first dude, man.
Oh,
So
cool, cool,
I'm
cool.
glad you could be here.
I'm Justin Lee, by the way.
This is Justin Lee, who's what's your official
Virtual production supervisor. It's
like
either
DP and
DP
right,
and
DP.
virtual production. My job is to make sure things look good.
Kinoflo reached out to me and said, "Hey, how do you feel about reviewing these mimics? You want to get a couple?" And I said, a little out of my wheelhouse. I don't really do LED volume stuff because I'm mainly a gaffer, with gear, doing location work. And I said, hey, why don't you send them over to Justin Lee? We're, over at B Electric Studios. And they graciously sent 4 units over to us. And we were here, about a month ago. They literally had taken them out of the box, started playing with them. And now you've had these things for, 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
And, you've really sort of put them through the paces on a number of shoots. So, what's your thought? What's your feeling?
I love them. I'm not giving them back. So, just real quickly before we get into it, drivingplates.com. Providing the plates we lit this fairly quickly.
Yeah, that's what amazed me is I walked in here and most of the time, like you said, was getting the camera out, getting all the other stuff organized, plates, whatnot. But actually lighting this thing took no time at all. I mean, 10 minutes, literally. We've got 4 Mimics. Mimic is roughly the size of like an Image 80, if you're familiar. It's a good size panel. We've got 4 of them, 2 in the front of the car, 1 just left and right of us, and that's doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
It's just really amazing. And if we wanted to get more complex, you could start to introduce some hard lights, like some area orbiters or whatever, or some soft extra bounce fills, whatnot. But I was amazed just looking at the monitor right out of the box, man. We could shoot just like it is.
Yeah.
I guess we should say these are not DMX units. These are networkable units. So you're basically running data cable, Ethernet cables between them. But then you decided that wasn't smart.
Yeah. So like according to the manual, there's a specific daisy chain,
Protocol,
route.
yeah.
Port and route. So then having that, you have cables going in 2 different ways for your unit, and then for an onset workflow, which moves very fast, that's just very cumbersome. So we're always breaking data, and then that would just mess something up on the processor side.
Right.
So like what I did was, it's very tedious. I have 4 long home runs back to the processor. So each Mimic is independent. Yeah. So power and data go one way for each Mimic, and then that way they can all move freely. It's very quick. I don't have to worry about, we're crisscrossing, or I can't move this because I need to extend this cable or whatnot. They all move independently and they all move quickly. And then like what I did was, because it's just like, it's Ethernet.
I remember, when we first pulled these out of the box, they are pretty lightweight. They're big, but they're not particularly heavy. And, they're dead stupid simple, really. I mean, you've got data in and out on either side of the back, and you've got power in and out. No on-off switch, no LED menu, nothing. That's it. It plugs in, and then everything else you're controlling from your.
Just like the LED wall. If I pull out one of these LED wall panels, it's just the panel.
Exactly. Yeah.
Some modules, so if a pixel breaks, I can pop a module out and then put a new one. It's magnetic, so I can just literally push it out, and then it's about yay big, each Kino module. And then it's the same thing as these. It's just low res, and but it has warm white, cool white.
So the advantage of these is they're full spectrum or much higher spectrum than your basic LED.
Yeah, because all the other previous iterations of car process, people move around their wild walls and trying to light them. They're lighting them with incomplete spectrum light. So whereas you have your full spectrum light with the moving content. Which I was never really sold on to begin with. Yeah. Until these.
The resolution of these and the control of these is quite interesting, and it seems like the roadmap, as Frieder or Sam was mentioning, the plan is to extend the fixture heads into hard lights as well, and then these panels themselves can be interconnected, very easily, stacked 8 high and as many as you want across. So it seems like a pretty flexible, ingenious solution.
I think they would be super helpful in the green screen workflow because it's just like I was just watching a green screen car process, and like, you know, because the thing is like, you're just putting a chase effect that doesn't interact. You can't see your background plate,
right?
You know, and then you can't match your lighting. Everything is just off. So I think that they would work very, very, very well in a green screen workflow because it's just like, you know, you don't have to imagine it. So for this setup here, you know, I have our rear plate, rear passenger, and rear driver. Kind of like I feathered them in together. Then I duplicated the rear plate just to extend to the top of the wall. The top of the wall kind of goes down to the hood. That's where that reflection plays really well. We have a camera 9 which looks up, which takes care of our windshield stuff, which is you know.
So we've got an LED wall, essentially ceiling, LED ceiling right now over us.
Yeah, and then what I did was I mapped our front camera to these mimics here, so then we use them literally as a witness. So like John can see where we're going to turn, where we're going to stop, the grip that's rocking the car, which is the most important part of the car process, is dude shaking the car, which we don't have.
Yeah.
You know, this last guy on our last feature was just like incredible. Like, you know, he would feather in the brake and just like get that just right. I was just like, man, this guy is really good at what, you know, just shaking the car. And it seems very simple, but if you look at it now, I'm going to add some post shake, but it's really important to have a good car shaker. I have our driver camera mapped to John's Mimic here. I have my passenger camera mapped to this Mimic, and then we have full 360 view, because like a lot of times it's just like these people are driving but they don't know what's going on. They don't see what's happening, but we're using the light fixture as a witness camera.
Yeah, we're basically like watching a low-res TV.
Yeah, we look at the front. Yeah. We see people crossing. We see the light. We see the red light and, you know, the green light, and this car is gonna. Let's see, he's going to make a left. Now he's going to make a right. But let's see. Anyone? Oh, he's going to make a left. I wonder if he's going to cross in that frame in the back here.
Yep.
And then I don't know if that shows it there. But, you know, it's like, you know, we're in it.
So what's the brain bar? What's happening over in the back of the studio?
So we're using Assimilate Live Effects as our media server. So I'm pumping content to the wall. And then what I'm also doing is I'm sending that feed to the wall. I'm also sending that feed to a different Assimilate Live Effects machine, and I call this like my IBL machine, or my image-based lighting machine. So I have my Camsys board and a Assimilate computer, lighting program controls, and then I have my color grading and scaling controls. Tactile controls are very, very well. You know, it's all about speed. How fast are you?
Right.
How fast are you? So then lighting programmers are the fastest, you know, the fastest people on set I know.
Yep.
So, you know, we use the live effects to move the content around and scale what we have. So I have the whole camera on that Mimic. I split up the front plate onto 2 Mimics, and I have the whole passenger camera on the Mimic right here. They have really good color control built in, so I don't need to have a LUT box inline. So it's just like,
so you can tweak the grading, you can tweak obviously
so that's the reason why I do this.
The color temp of the panel, whatever. It's infinite.
Yeah,
control.
I can make the shadows warmer. I can make the highlights cooler.
Right.
I can mess with the tint. So like on the last shoot, they were pushing plus green into the units because you get natural green pushing through this glass. So they were going Mimic content plus green, and it looked really good. And
I'll point out also that we didn't do this last time, but today you've got some very light diffusions on some of the Mimics. Like we got, it looks like Hampshire here, and then I think 252 you said on the front ones.
Yeah, so
that's just taking the edge off.
Just take a little bit of the edge off. If I had the gel, I wish I had the gel frames because they just look cleaner, and then they give a little bit of just a little bit of separation.
Yep.
I think my weapon of choice would probably be half soft frost.
Now, if you transition to non-car stuff, and you've just got people, I don't know, whatever it is.
Every shoot, they work every shoot. So it's just like they work. So like a lot of times they're like, it's like a single person in the space. So.
And what's your background plate? Just.
It could be abstract. It could be just mountains
nature or something.
Anything. So.
So you're not dealing with obviously moving images.
It's moving.
It is.
Yeah. So
as if they're outside and there's.
Going on Unreal Engine too. Yeah, just map it out to wherever. But then like this shoot yesterday, we had 2 funky Mimics on the that far side over there, and then they're just kind of doing the push, and it does really nice stuff for an edge, because you don't want to rely on the wall for that.
Yeah.
So then these guys have to throw, and you can move them literally where you need to. So art pieces, like literally as a put low res content on and shoot the Mimik itself. So that's the Google Pixel, whenever that goes on air,
right.
We'll send that to you guys, Kino, whenever that happens.
Right.
Let's see, quick fill, because they're already on the studio, so it's just a very fast unit. So we need to switch them to white. We need to switch
like a white card, big white.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. We just need to switch them to regular unit.
Yep.
Boom. Throw a fader, and then they're a regular unit. A little bit of hard light, some car shake, and this is,
Bob's your uncle. Yeah.
This is good.
Well, cool. Thanks, Justin. I appreciate it. Did we say we're B Electric? I want to thank B Electric for letting us come in and hang out here today. So that is the Kinoflo Mimik.
Yeah. So I think most people don't know this studio's here. So this studio is 1000 Dean Street,
Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn. Most comment I get is I didn't know that this was here.
Yeah, I didn't know it.
This is here. Yeah. This is here.
So, thanks to Kino for sending us these units, and nothing but great things to say. So hope you get a chance to check them out.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
Yeah. So we're gonna keep driving around. All right, we'll see you in Salon. Thanks. That was pretty good.
I think it was great.
Yeah.
I think it was great.